Yeah. The last time I wrote a song was in a college bathroom, scribbling my life away on scrap after class. Soon lacking on the grades, considered the time wasted. What I learned today was I failed and I hate this. To have my efforts graded and subjectively misplaced with teenage wastes of space with bank statements loaded with the commas. I do not belong with all yous, nothing but a slave for squalor on the bench watching ballers like holler. If you got some debt now, you're in full effect. If you're poor, let me hear some chest pounds. If you're insecure, show them how the hollows get down. Walk like you were never dead as if you're so.
Good morning, Raiders. I'm Tony, and your Skyline Scoop starts right now. Last week, the FBI director of North Texas, a former Skyline student, stopped by to talk about the importance of academic focus for future success.
So what I would ask you as a fellow Skyline alumni, I'm a Raider through and through. Everything I do has Raider somewhere involved in it. What I would ask you guys to do is focus. Focus on your sports, focus on your academic, but most importantly, focus on life. What are you going to do? And if you do that, you're going to enjoy high school. One day, you may be that Michael Johnson or Larry Johnson that comes back here to talk to a group just like you. But it has to start right now. I've been to your games since I've been back, and you guys are dynamic. But those games, when they're over, when your high school time is over, it's life. And if no one's ever told you, because they never told me, you got to start preparing for life now. And as I told you, this is not about a lecture. I'm not lecturing you. I'm just telling you guys that someone who looks like you, someone who grew up in the area just like you, someone that went to the same school that you went to can make it. There are only 78 special agents in charge in the entire FBI. Of 13,500 agents, there are only 78 of us. So if a kid that didn't have a father in the house, who had a mother who was working constantly, who was poor beyond belief, if I can make it and become one of those 78, and I never met an FBI agent when I was in high school. I never met law enforcement when I was in high school. If I can make it, the foundation is there for you to make it. So again, this is not a lecture. This is just letting you know when you sit in class, when you are preparing for a game, when you're working with your coaches, it's all about being the best that you can be. Because one day, you're not going to hear a band. You're not going to be told what classes to go to. You're not going to ride a bus to the football field. You're going to be told to be a man who's responsible for not only himself or herself. You're going to be told to be responsible as an individual.
Now it's time for your ACE activity.
Let me close with a very personal story that I think will bring all this into focus. Wisdom will come to you in the unlikeliest of sources, a lot of times through failure. When you hit rock bottom, remember this: while you're struggling, rock bottom can also be a great foundation on which to build and on which to grow. I'm not worried that you'll be successful. I'm worried that you won't fail from time to time. The person that gets up off the canvas and keeps growing, that's the person that will continue to grow their influence. Back in the 70s, to help me make this point, let me introduce you to someone. I met the finest woman I'd ever met in my life. Back in my day, we'd have called her a brick house. This woman was the finest woman I'd ever seen in my life. There's just one little problem. Back then, ladies didn't like big old linemen. The Blind Side hadn't come out yet. They like quarterbacks and running backs. We're at this dance, and I find out her name is Trina Williams from Lompoc, California. And we're all dancing, and we're just excited. And I decide in the middle of dancing with her that I would ask her for her phone number. Trina was the first one. Trina was the only woman in college who gave me her real telephone number. The next day, we walked to Baskin & Robbins ice cream parlor. My friends couldn't believe it. This has been 40 years ago, and my friends still can't believe it. We go on a second date, and a third date, and a fourth date. We drive from Chico to Vallejo so that she could meet my parents. My father meets her. My daddy, my hero, he meets her, pulls me to the side and says, "Is she psycho?" But anyway, we go together for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. By now, Trina's a senior in college. I'm still a freshman, but I'm working some things out. I'm so glad I graduated in 4 terms. Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan. So now it's time to propose. So I talk to her girlfriends, and it's California, it's in the 70s, so it has to be outside. You have to have a candle, and you have to have, some chocolate. Listen, I'm from the hood. I had a bottle of Boone's Farm wine. That's what I had. She said yes. That was the key. I married the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen in my life. Y'all ever been to a wedding, and even before the wedding starts, you hear this? How in the world? And it was coming from my side of the family. We get married, we have a few children, our lives are great. One day, Trina finds a lump in her left breast. Breast cancer. 6 years after that diagnosis, me and my 2 little boys walked up to Mommy's casket. And for 2 years, my heart didn't beat. If it wasn't for my faith in God, I wouldn't be standing here today. If it wasn't for those 2 little boys, there would have been no reason for which to go on. I was completely lost. That was rock bottom. You know what sustained me? The wisdom of a 3rd grade dropout. The wisdom of a simple cook. We're at the casket. I'd never seen my dad cry. But this time I saw my dad cry. That was his daughter. Trina was his daughter, not his daughter-in-law. And I'm right behind my father, about to see her for the last time on this earth. And my father shared 3 words with me that changed my life right there at the casket. It would be the last lesson he would ever teach me. He said, "Son, just stand. You keep standing. You keep standing, no matter how rough the sea, you keep standing." And I'm not talking about just water. You keep standing. No matter what, you don't give up. And as clearly as I'm talking to you today, these were some of her last words to me. She looked me in the eye and she said, "It doesn't matter to me any longer how long I live. What matters to me most is how I live." I ask y'all one question, a question that I was asked all my life by a 3rd grade dropout. How you living? How you living? Every day, ask yourself that question, how you living? Here's what a cook would suggest you to live this way. That you would not judge, that you would show up early, that you'd be kind, that you'd make sure that that servant's towel is huge and used, that if you're gonna do something, you do it the right way. That cook would tell you this, that it's never wrong to do the right thing, that how you do anything is how you do everything. And in that way, you will grow your influence to make an impact. In that way, you will honor all those who have gone before you, who have invested in you. Look in those unlikeliest places for wisdom. Enhance your life every day by seeking that wisdom and asking yourself every night, how am I living? May God richly bless y'all. Thank you for having me.
That's all we have for today, Raiders. Be sure to catch up on all things Skyline by following us at Skynet Broadcasting. And to make sure you never miss an episode of your Skyline Scoop, sign up to receive mobile broadcasts by texting at SKYN to 81010. Catch us every day right here at SkynetBroadcasting.org and listen to tomorrow's hits today in the cafeteria and anywhere in the world with Skynet Radio. I'm Tony, and from all of us here at Skynet Broadcasting, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the flip side.